Hi, can everybody see me? We're standing up today because for whatever reason I cannot sit still. I don't know if the coffee was stronger or what, but here we are. You're on top of my double-stacked bookshelf. So hi. Now, today we are going to be talking about The Rise of Magicks by Nora Roberts. And I didn't mean to do this, but I kind of matched the book cover today. Coincidence? Yes. But is it cool? Yeah. So, unlike the first book, Year One, which set up the fact that the world was coming to an end, and it also set up the magicks that comes in throughout this whole series. Now, what happened, just a quick summary, was dark blood, evil blood in this one. Sorry, my bag just fell because I'm spending the night with my grandma for 2 days, so it just fell on me. But anyway, the dark blood was spilled on these circles, these shields, when a family went on a hunting trip in Scotland. And once he accidentally spilled the dark blood by shooting a crow, which is why there's a crow on the front of the book. The crows are representative of evil in this book. Actually, they're representative of evil in a lot of things, but by this, the dark is represented by crows or flocks of crows. So when he shot this crow and it landed on this circle or this shield of stone, then the dark blood spilled and started a curse. It unleashed a curse that wiped out most of the world. And there was nothing, any medical equipment or any safety equipment could do to stop this sickness or this curse that they later called the Doom. And with the Doom, there were also people that were immune and people that discovered they were of magical blood, whether they be elves or anything else magical. So that set up that whole thing, and it also set up the relationship between our survivalists or our main characters and also the family of the One, which is what these whole books are about, the Chronicles of the One. Then we come into this book, Of Blood and Bone. Now, the second book, which I currently don't have with me at the time of recording this because I let someone borrow it, so that's why you're just getting a picture on the screen. Now, this book centers around the community built close to the middle of the first book. And it also, from that community, one of the main characters had to run. And she ended up at a farm and had a child named Fallon. Now, Fallon is the one that is talked about through these books. And the reason why the books are called the Chronicles of the One. She is the one meant to stop the Doom, to bring about a better day. She is the one that's supposed to do that. She is the one. She is born from the gods and the goddesses. And from, hold on, I'm probably going to butcher this name. Tadana E. Den Ann. It's a weird name, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. But she is born from that certain goddess, and that is why she is the one with the power and the ability to not only counter the dark, but end the dark. So she feels a lot of pressure on herself because she's like, I'm only 13. I don't want to have to go on this journey to become the one. I don't want to have to go on this journey to fight this battle. I don't know how to fight a war. I don't know how to lead troops. I'm 13. So and she also, through the book, is sent to find 3 animals. A white owl with a golden apple, a white wolf with a golden collar, and a horse later found out to be an alicorn with a golden saddle. And she is supposed to take these 3 items from the animals and figure out a way to do it nicely. Those are her spirit animals. Most people only have technically 1 spirit animal, but because she is stronger and because she is the one, she has more than 1 spirit animal. And they stay with her throughout the rest of that book and the rest of this book. Now, like before, from the first book to the second book, there's a 13-year time gap, because we start out with Fallon being 13 when she was not yet born in the first one. So then from the second one to this one, there is a 3-year gap, because she goes from 16 to 18, I think. So there's that gap. And then from there, time just kind of gets all muddled. And now that we're focused completely on this book, can I just say, Nora Roberts, you have a strange writing style, and it's not bad. I like it, but at some points it gets hard to read. Kind of like Romeo and Juliet, but not as old-fashioned or stuff like that. But it's still very strangely worded, and at some points hard to read. But it's not bad. And on top of the weird writing choices, you do not know how to write an action scene. Why? You had me so excited for the action. Breaking into the White House to get the White House back to claim DC? I was pumped. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. But then she's like, oh, Fallon went in. And I'm like, I want to see how she's going to infiltrate the White House to put these listening devices in. And then she freaking skips to telling us. Like, she told us where she planted them and how many she planted. And I'm like, I know it's a book, but you still have to do more showing than telling. I was so pumped to sit there and read, oh, she's going to have to mess with this guard, or this is going to happen. But we didn't get to see that happen. We just got to see her talking about where she planted the devices and that she planted them. We don't even hear about her struggles when she was doing so. And I was so excited to see that part of the journey. I don't know. I only had 1 cup of coffee this morning, but I am buzzing. Maybe it's because I'm excited because I have something going on tomorrow I probably didn't care about. Let's get back into what I was talking about. This action scene, it made me so angry. And it wasn't just that one. It was like every single action scene that happened, we saw maybe a minute of it. And then the rest was told to us like, oh, listing off the list of casualties, and this many died, and this many survived, and this many were wounded. I don't want to see it in a list. I want to see it happen. And it's not like you don't have plenty of time to show us those things happening. Because there is a lot of pointless talk that goes on through the book. And you're like, come on, I want to see the action scenes. That's what I'm here for. And speaking of things that did not need to exist, with all the pointless talking and the family get-togethers and the war meetings. Ugh, the war meetings. Once again, this ties into me wanting to see the action, not hear about it. I know it's a book, but you still gotta do more showing than telling. And to sit there and see all the action boiled down to us in a paragraph or so, just by listing off who was wounded, who was killed, and who was fine, is so stupid. So stupid. I was so mad. I'm like, I actually want to see the battles because you give us this little minute tidbit of the battle and it's awesome. I'm invested, and then whoop, we cut to after the battle and I'm sitting in a war room talking about it. There is so much war talk in this book. And I get that it is the whole, you gotta take back the country from the purity warriors, which, like I said in my other review, are people that think anyone discovered with magic blood is pure evil. No matter how they use their powers, whether they use it for good, they are evil. And they need to be eradicated. And then you have just non-magical people that want to use this new lawlessness to be complete horrible people and rape and kill and steal and pillage and just all that. So, speaking of rape, I got so tired of seeing the words rape, forced sex, and forced impregnation. It's fluent throughout this book. I mean, she talked about it in the other two too, but this one, it is brought up hundreds of times. And I have never been so sick and tired of hearing those words. Ugh. And I get that that actually happens to people, and that in a lawless society where there are no laws, there are people probably more prone to do that. But holy freaking shit, chill out on those words, please and thank you. Please and thank you, because I don't want to constantly read about this poor girl or that poor girl or that poor woman or who the hell knows what being tortured and used by men just to show how evil they are. People can be evil and men can be evil without working their urges, if you know what I mean. Like, chill on those words. Because I kid you not, they're probably mentioned about 100 times combined. Or more. That might be me underestimating it. But I have never been so tired of hearing those 3 words. Just enough. Enough. Guys can be evil without thinking with their woo. You know? Like, chill. So, that is my main issue. Was she gets us so pumped for these action scenes with a minute little tidbit, and then next thing you know, we're sitting in the war room talking about it. I started to get to the point where I was bored because I'm like, we're having yet another family moment and yet another war meeting. The family moments were nice. They gave character to the characters. But the war meetings, I'm like, we've done like 50 of these already. Probably more. Please stop with the war meetings. I get that Fallon needs an army to take back the world. I get it. I got it. Can we stop though? I have never read a book, even one about a war, with this many war meetings. And then there's Fallon. She went from the second book being like, I don't want to be a leader, I don't want to lead these people into war, I don't want to be the one, to being completely and utterly sucked into the role of the one. She's like, I don't want to be a kid no more, I don't want to have downtime, I want to gather these people and do this war and get it over with. It was just a complete attitude switch. I mean, she has maybe 1 or 2 moments where she's like, I don't want to be the one, you know? But where in the second book, she's like, I didn't sign up for this. It wasn't my fault that I was born destined to do this. It wasn't my fault. And so, that whole switch kind of made sense, but I'm kind of like, you can't be all war all the time. You can't let that consume you, because then by the end of it, you're gonna yourself slip into darkness because you're so dead set on bringing death to these people. I mean, I'm right there with you. They are horrible people. Like, all the shit they've done to innocent people, to innocent uncannies, as they call the magicals, I'm right there with you. They need to be taken out. They need to be imprisoned. But just give yourself a moment to be a normal person. It seems like even with my goodness, even when she is with family, she cannot stop thinking, I need to recruit this person, or I need to do this, or I need to expand this in the camp, or I need to do that in the camp, and I need to have this teacher teach this, and she just cannot slow down. And I feel like that's really wearing on her. And it's just, take a moment for yourself to be an actual human being and not some goddess-made war hero. And the one time she does take a moment for herself, I don't want to say it doesn't feel earned, but it feels very just shoved in to make her seem more human. Like, there's this guy named Duncan, and he's known about the One, or Fallon, before she was even born. Like, he got all excited when Lana, her mom, came around pregnant, because apparently Lana, it was basically this whole scenario. Fell in love with the baby before the baby was even born. Like the destinies brought them together because they were both from Tadia. They were both from the goddess. I'm not going to try to say her name again. But they were both from the goddess. Blood of their blood. And no, before you think, well, that's weird, wouldn't that make them siblings? They're not technically siblings because they were born from two separate parents. So that's not weird on that front, but it's more saying they were destined. They're not soulmates because soulmates are different, but they were destined to be together. And it's just, it didn't fit. For one, I'm not a fan of insta-love, and I'm certainly not a fan of destined love, unless it's done right. This was not done right at all. And it's kind of like Fallon's like, I'm not interested in love, and then all of a sudden, let me take you. What? And now all of a sudden they're a couple because they got in bed together once. I don't know what this book is. I enjoyed this book, yes. Did I wish the action was better? Very much so. I am definitely going to take a break from Nora Roberts' books because I struggled through this one. I really did. So that's where I stand on that. Well, sorry if I was a little over energetic today. I'm a little excited, so bear with me on that. And I don't know when my next bookish video is, but I know what my next book is. I'll show you in a second. It's this. Can you see it? It's called Winter Storms, and it's Ellen Hilderberg. I'm excited for this one. It's kind of a small one, which is a great vein away from this one. That's my next read. Well, what book are you guys reading right now? And as always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time. Sorry I'm a bit bouncy. I felt like I had 3 cups of caffeine today. Alright, bye guys.